tutorial, we're going to learn how to create a cross-tabulated calculations using the CUBESET, CUBERANKEDMEMBER, and the CUBEVALUE functions. Let's get started. The Cube family functions are 7 in numbers, and they were introduced in the 2007 Microsoft Excel version, and they are basically used to connect to external data sources, and of course we use them in the data model. So we want to see how to use 3 of the 7 cube family functions. So let's see our data. Now this is my data, okay, formatted in an Excel table, and I've named the table transaction underscore fact TDL, and these are my dimension tables. Okay, so I've added all the fact table and the dimension tables into the data model. So let's see them in the data model. Okay, can you see that? And when we check the diagram view, I've created a one-to-many relationships. Okay, and let's go back to the data view. I've also created a DAX measure, okay, which is the total sales. Now let's go back to Excel and see how to use the 3 functions we are interested in today. Now let's come to report. Now in cell F4, I'm going to start by typing =CubeSet. Now the CubeSet defines a calculated set of members or tuples by sending a set expression to the cube on the server, which creates the set and then returns that set to the Microsoft Excel. So press my tab key, and of course our data is already in the data model, so definitely we're going to use this workbook data model. So the first argument is the connection. So for my connection, I'm going to deploy a single cove, and automatically this workbook data model comes up. Then select with my tab key, close the single cove, the other cove, then comma. For the set value, I'm going to open another cove, then select my table, tab key, then period, and select the account manager, which is this, my tab key, then another period. So it gave me an option to select all, but I actually want to return all the members, so I'm going to just type in members of that particular set. So members, then close my second quotation and put in a comma. So the next argument is the caption. So the caption is actually the headings. So for my headings, I'm going to name it account manager. So in double quotes also, account manager, then close that up, comma. So the third argument is the sort order. So I'm going to use the natural ascending, which is 5, comma. And for the sort by, now you remember that I said we created a total sales DAX measure, so I'm going to deploy that measure here. So single cove, select my measures, then period, the total sales, then close that argument, and then close my CubeSet formula, then control enter. So can you see we have account manager? Now we are interested in the cross tabulated, okay? So we want to see the total sales by account manager and the customer type. So this is my account manager just created with the CubeSet, and let me just put in total sales here just to have exactly what we're going to have in the pivot table. So for the other one, I'm going to borrow this formula, which is the customer type, Control A, Control C, escape, then Control V to paste over here. So I'm going to just modify my formula. Okay, so this has to be customer type, okay, and this will be the, which is the caption, the customer type. Okay, so all others are fine, then control enter. So we have account manager and customer type. So this is how to use the CubeSet. Now let's go to another function, which is the CUBERANKEDMEMBER. Now coming down here, I'm going to start by typing CUBERANKEDMEMBER. So what it does is to return the nth, that is the rank or member in a set. So tab key, again it requires my connection, single cove, this will boot that model, close that up, comma. So now for the set expression, I'm going to just reference this value here, which we did with the cube set, and I'm going to fix that in absolute so that it doesn't move when I copy the formula down. So comma. So it's asking for the ranking. Now for the ranking, I'm going to use a curly braces, or you can call it curly bracket, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to start by typing 1 colon. I actually use colon, not comma, because I want it to spill down. Okay, so colon 2, 3, 4. Now my account manager are 40 in number, so I'm going to make it up to 14. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now let's close our curly braces and let's close our cube ranked member formula. Now when I deploy Control Enter, you're going to see something funny. Let's see. Oops, error. Okay, I deployed comma instead of semicolon. So semicolon, Control Enter. Can you see it spills down because I'm actually using Office 365 Business, okay, subscription. So it spills down. We have the dynamic arrays over here, which is cool. But you discover that in cell A5 we have all. So there is no account manager bearing that name. It actually implies that this one that we deploy actually brought it forward. So I'm going to just delete the one. So I'm going to start by from 2, then with my semicolon, and after the 14, deploy another semicolon and deploy 15 over there. Control Enter. So can you see now, the whole has been removed, and our last account manager, Matthew, is now available for us to see. And of course, this spills absolutely cool. So let's do. Now these are the account manager's name, and we have used the cube ranked member. Now let's do the same thing over here. Now I'm going to start by typing =cube ranked member, and again single quote, this will good data model, close that up, comma, my set, reference value in B3, fixed in absolute, comma, and for my rank. Now my customer type, they're actually 4. We have home office, small business, corporate, and one more anyway. So they are actually 4. Now let's see for the ranking. I'm going to deploy curly braces. Now I'm going to use, let's omit the 1, start from 2. Now when I use 2 colon 3 colon 4 colon 5, okay, now it's actually going to spill down, not across. So close my curly braces just to show us, close my ranked cube rank member, Control Enter. Can you see it spills down? And that's exactly not what I want. I actually want it to spill across here. So that's the problem actually occurred because I used semicolon instead of using colon in this case. So we actually need to know when to use the semicolon and when to use colon when we are using curly braces. So I'm going to replace all the semicolon with colon. So replace this colon and colon. So when I deploy Control Enter, can you see it spills to the right, and this is exactly what we want. So let's just increase our column width. Now we've seen how to use the CUBESET, the cube ranked member, and let's see the third one, which is the cube value. Now I'm going to start by typing cube value. So it returns an aggregated value from the cube. Okay, so my tab key and my connection again, single quote, this will be the model, close, comma. So for my member underscore expression 1, I'm going to reference the value in cell A5, then apply mix cell reference so that the column will be locked, not the row 5, because I actually want to ensure that when I copy the formula across, the column does not move across relatively. So F4, 1, 2, 3, then comma. So for my member underscore expression 2 argument of the cube value, reference the value in B4, and of course I want to lock row 4, not column B, so that the row 4 doesn't jump to row 5, 6, and so on and so forth when I copy the formula down. So on my keyboard, F4 key 1, 2, okay, comma. So the third one is going to take care of my measure, which is the total sales measure we created. Now I'm going to open a single quote, and I have the measures here. Can you see? So select out my tab key, period. Then I can see the measure, which is the total sales. Then my tab key, and I close that up, and finally close my cube value formula parenthesis. Then I deploy control enter. Okay, it worked. So let's just copy this across and down. So control D and control R. Can you see we've done the job? Amazing. So let's quickly verify whether we're actually correct or not. Now let's create a quick pivot table. So come in cell A, G3, insert, pivot table, use this workbooks data model. We are fine with the G3 location. Click OK. Then I actually want my account manager. So that comes into the row areas. And of course, my customer type, I send it into the columns area. And of course, my total sales DAX measure. So total, then it comes into the values. Can you see that we got exactly the same thing? Let's close this tax pane. Wow, we did it. So this is amazing. The same value, if you check, they're actually the same. Okay, it worked. So this is essentially how to use the CUBESET, the cube rank member, and the cube value cube family functions. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you do, please give some likes, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. And please do stay safe. Thank you and bye for now.